big macro data of the day. The March core sector data has surprised positively at 6.4% and come in at a 16-month high. Fertilizer, steel and electricity outputs have risen on a month-on-month basis, but natural gas has seen a sharp decline. Ekta Batra joins in now for a detailed analysis of the numbers. Ekta, clearly the core sectors have outperformed, but areas like natural gas, which are lesser, are a little bit of a concern.
Well, it was an excellent showing from the core sector data for the month of March, which came in at 6.4% versus 5.7% in the previous month. In fact, it was the highest growth rate in terms of core sector that we've seen all the way back since November of 2014. And 50% of the core sector data this time, in fact, grew in double digits. So it was really led by the likes of cement output, which was up 13.9% in the previous month, and it grew to 11.9% in the month of March. There was electricity, which was up 9.2%, where economists were expecting it to grow strongly, but it came in at good double-digit growth of around 11.3%. We had petroleum refinery products output, which was up 10.8% versus an 8.1% growth in the previous month, and fertilizer output, which accelerated all the way to a growth of 22% versus 16.3% in the previous month. So that growth rate seemed to have accelerated for fertilizers as well as the other sectors mentioned. Now, what really stood out was also the steel sector, which in fact turned into growth and turned into positive momentum with a growth of around 3% as compared to a sluggish to a marginal eking out of growth in the previous quarters, previous months. So that really stood out because it was possibly the positive impact of the MIP, which really played out positively for the steel space. So overall, it was a good set of numbers, but the volatility seemed to continue for natural gas, which declined 10% versus a 1.2% growth in the previous month. Crude oil output, which declined 5.1% versus a 0.8% growth in the previous month. And something like coal output also, which was a bit sluggish, came down to 1.7 versus around a 3.9% growth in the previous month. So overall, steel, cement and electricity really drove in terms of the core sector data, and it was also fertilizers which showed a strong showing of over 20% growth.
All right, Ekta, thanks for joining in with that. While there was one